Let's talk about 3 different reasons that you might want to prune your tomato plants. First off, if you have the dwarf or micro dwarf type of tomato plants, they typically have a lot of blooms if they are cherry form. Number one, pruning my tomato plants gives me a slightly larger tomato size than normal. Second, when I prune my plants, I'm also looking at getting my tomatoes to color up just a little bit faster than normal. The third thing is, with a smaller footprint, such as the smaller light that you see, as well as a countertop garden, I want to remove as much as the unnecessary growth so that the plants can get most of their energy across the canopy. And you want to get the energy to plant size optimized. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll take off excess growth that is shooting upwards off the top of the plant to try to keep a flat top. The other thing is down here where the light is not penetrating as well, there's not much need to have leaves down in this area because they're not going to be doing anything for the plant except robbing energy. This plant is a variety that is more pygmy sized, and I don't trim this one as much as I do the other one, which is a microdwarf, because this plant also likes to spread out and naturally stay compact underneath the light, and that is what I'm looking for. So if you're looking for a type of tomato plant, the smaller ones are going to be better sized for your particular garden. However, both under normal conditions with tending will produce quite well. This is the first time that I've grown this particular variety called the Dora Red, and I was a little bit surprised because on the branches that have lots of blossoms, I came back and I found out that a lot of those are looking like a cutworm or something, or a bird that has come back through here and cut off a lot of blossoms. As a matter of fact, on these branches, I've had several that have come up looking quite like this, and I was really amazed, and my first thought was, what is chewing on my indoor garden? And after looking around at other pictures on the internet, I found out there is something called blossom drop, and blossom drop is accounting for what I'm seeing. It's not a bug and it's not a bird. It's an actual feature of the plant. And so those branches that look like they were bit off are dropping these blossoms all over, and I'm not getting any tomatoes from them. So one possible thought was that the nutrient that I'm using, a 9-36, is a little high in nitrogen, and I wasn't worried about that because I've used it quite well in the past for several plants. However, with this particular Dora Red plant, it seems to be getting perhaps a little bit too much nitrogen, and I may want to switch to a low nitrogen nutrient. Something else that I'm doing is using a high velocity mini fan to blow across the plant, and that will naturally encourage those blossoms to self-pollinate for the most part. And self-pollinate is probably not the right term. It just talks about the way that the blossoms have pollen and how they get those blooms, you know, in layman's term, to turn into small green tomatoes. So with the fan, that should help out in addition to the nutrient change. Cold nights are another thing that would contribute to what I'm seeing. Indoors, I have a fairly comfortable feeling because the temperature is oftentimes fairly stable. So I'm not particularly worried about high-low temperatures indoors. I want to be able to take advantage of all the blossoms that I have on the plant to be able to produce tomatoes. And oftentimes there's one other thing, and that is the overload of green tomatoes, and the plants may not have enough energy to put into producing as many tomatoes as what it's forming on the plant, and may jettison some of their fruit. So hopefully this is going to be something that helps out with your particular growing. And if you are thinking that I have a insect of some kind, I can tell you that I have sticky traps out and I have not caught a single bug, because this has turned out not to be an insect related issue, and it is more of what I've been talking about. And so with that in mind, the changes that I've made should be helpful to me as I move forward and try to get as many tomatoes as possible.